drive 30i for $3.99 per month.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
And taking a live look outside right now, a cool and cloudy Mother's Day is seen from our weather cameras right now. The question tonight at 6, is today's weather setting the stage for the work week ahead? Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Trevor Shirley. Joining us here is meteorologist Kyle Mounds. Kind of a dreary Mother's Day, but at least we've got something to look forward to as we move into this week.
Things are going to improve. They almost have to, because today we had the clouds, a few showers, and we didn't make it out of the 40s. It was definitely cool out there for Mother's Day, and we've got just a little bit of rain out there still. Storm Team 6 radars, we track it for you here. A couple of those showers north of Richmond at this point. So this little batch and also around Portland, that will quickly be moving through and into Ohio. A couple of light showers for you in Hartford City. Then we've got the next round of rain already moving through toward Fowler and Williamsport, Monticello. Some light scattered showers for you as well. And you can see the swirl in the atmosphere back around Peoria. So all this is going to be moving our way, but really the rain chances favoring areas near and north of Interstate 70 as we go through this evening and even into the overnight here. Looking out over downtown, it's difficult to see with all the low clouds out there and those chilly temperatures. Many areas in the 40s. Bloomington, you're at 50 degrees, but we do have some areas of fog out there, so be advised of that as some low visibility if you are going to be out this evening. Temperatures holding steady but chilly in the 40s with that light northwest wind. We'll talk about some improving weather in the week ahead in just a few minutes.
Kyle, thanks. Switching gears now, sadly, gun violence did not take a day off on this Mother's Day. A man is in critical condition after being shot on the northwest side. All of this happening around 4:30 this afternoon. Police were called to the 5300 block of Falcon Creek Way near West 46th Street and Lafayette Road, where they found that person shot. Police have not released the identity of that victim, nor did they indicate whether or not they have any suspects. An investigation is currently underway. And a Lafayette man is dead this evening after police say the woman who was driving the car they were both riding in was drunk and crashed. It all happened this morning around 2:30 in the 3600 block of State Road 38 East. That's near the Lafayette Marketplace. Authorities say 30-year-old Michael Kramer of Lafayette was killed. There was also a woman in the back seat of that car who suffered minor injuries. Authorities say when they got to the scene, they found a car crashed into a utility pole and a tree. The driver, a 27-year-old woman also from Lafayette, was arrested on suspicion of OWI resulting in death. All of that according to Lafayette police. And this evening we can report 2 kids from Lafayette who went missing yesterday are safe. Police there confirmed 13-year-old DeMarcus Funches and his 12-year-old sister DeShanti have both been found safely. It's believed they ran away together late Friday night or early Saturday morning, although details of why they ran away or where they were found have not been released. And just days ago, it was announced that Indiana's former Republican Congressman Todd Rokita could be joining the board of Amtrak. But now a passengers' rights group is calling on the U.S. Senate to reject Rokita for that job. Last week, President Trump nominated Rokita for a position on the Amtrak board of directors, but the Rail Passengers Association says during Rokita's time in Congress, he voted twice to eliminate public funding for Amtrak, once in 2015 and again in 2017. If he's confirmed by the Senate, Rokita would sit on the board of the very organization he voted to defund. Now, we have reached out to Rokita for comment, but so far we haven't heard back. And the battle between Democrats and Republicans continues following the release of the special counsel Robert Mueller's report. Tonight, here's ABC's Rachel Scott. She's got the latest.
It's a showdown over separation of power. The sharp divide between Democrats and Republicans only deepening in the weeks following the release of the special counsel's redacted report.
He is going to testify.
House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff standing firm on Democrats' desire to hear from special counsel Robert Mueller.
We now know we certainly can't rely on the Attorney General who misrepresented his conclusions.
And House Democrats also considering imposing fines on Trump officials who refuse to comply with congressional subpoenas.
I think if you find someone $25,000 a day to their person, until they comply, it gets their attention.
But Republicans believe Democrats are more interested in subpoenas than solutions.
It's not going to change the outcome of what this investigation has already done.
The Washington Post reporting the president's allies are working to block more than 20 Democratic probes. The latest example, instructing former White House counsel Don McGahn not to cooperate with a congressional subpoena.
The Mueller investigation said that the president did not commit any underlying crime. And so now they're all saying he obstructed justice about something that was not considered to be a crime.
President Trump on Twitter this morning calling the investigation, quote, a total scam, a witch hunt that yielded no collusion, no obstruction. But the report did outline 11 instances of possible obstruction, even though it found insufficient evidence to prove the Trump campaign conspired with the Russians' effort to meddle in the 2016 election. The strategy from the White House has been simple: build a stonewall. The Washington Post reports the Trump administration has failed to comply with at least 79 congressional requests on everything ranging from the president's actions while in office to his personal finances. Rachel Scott, ABC News, the White House.
And funeral services for former Indiana Senator Richard Lugar will be held this week in Indianapolis. The Lugar Center is asking people who would like to attend to register on its website. You can find a link to that over on the RTV6 app. The service starts at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. It's all happening at St. Luke's United Methodist Church. You can also pay your respects at the Indiana State House. That's where Lugar will lie in state for 24 hours before his funeral. The six-term senator died last month. He was 87 years old. Well, coming up, actress Felicity Huffman heading back to court tomorrow, still embroiled in that massive college cheating scandal. We'll tell you how long she might have to spend behind bars. Plus, we'll catch up with one of WRTV's first female news anchors as we continue to look back on 70 years of bringing the news to Central Indiana.
And if you're getting tired of that chill here in Central Indiana, good news, the warmth is building off to the west. I'll let you know when the 80s return. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
Parties, because it tastes better.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Well, thousands of students at the University of South Carolina turned their tassels in memory of a classmate who never got that chance. Samantha Josephson was awarded a posthumous degree less than 2 months after she got into a car she thought was her Uber and was later found dead, allegedly killed by the man whose car she got into. Samantha's parents were at that ceremony accepting the degree on her behalf. During his speech, the university president told that crowd that although Samantha could not walk with them on the stage, her message still resonates.
Fellow Gamecocks, class of 2019, we must ensure what happened to Samantha never happens again. Asking what's my name before getting in a rideshare vehicle will save lives.
Certainly some good advice there. Plaques were made to honor Josephson and to help others remember to ask that important question, what's my name, when requesting ride shares. They're hanging in about a dozen bars in the Columbia, South Carolina area. Also tonight, Desperate Housewives star Felicity Huffman is expected to be back in a Boston courtroom on Monday to plead guilty for her role in a college admissions scam. Huffman is one of 33 parents caught up in the scandal. She signed a plea deal back in April, admitting to paying $15,000 to have an SAT proctor correct the answers on her daughter's exam, improving that girl's score by about 400 points. In a written statement, Huffman said she felt deep regret and shame over what happened. She now faces 4 to 10 months behind bars and could be also looking at a year's worth of probation along with a $20,000 fine.
Because she is pleading guilty before a trial, she is facing less than a year in prison. But ultimately, the judge could find her to be a good candidate for probation, meaning she gets off without any prison time at all.
Meanwhile, actress Lori Loughlin choosing to fight the charges, saying she is not guilty. The embattled star and her husband are accused of shelling out $500,000 to get their daughters recruited to the USC crew team, despite the fact that neither of them were participating in that sport. Other parents like Loughlin who've decided to fight the charges are due back in court sometime in June. And fans of classic TV know her as Julie from the Mod Squad, but tonight we've learned actress Peggy Lipton has passed away from cancer at age 72. Lipton's daughter, actress Rashida Jones, says her mother died with family members by her side. Lipton also starred in the hit TV series Twin Peaks back in the 1990s. She married music producer Quincy Jones in 1974, the father of both of her 2 daughters, although they divorced about 15 years later. And advocates are pushing for changes in cities across the U.S. They say skyscrapers are killing too many birds. Our Nicole Val is talking with a group that wants those changes.
Before the bustle begins and before the sun rises, this street in downtown Chicago is calm.
All right, off we go.
A calm 5 a.m. That's when Annette Prince and her team start their day.
I'll give you a call if I get anything on the hotline. They keep up before sunrise until early morning. We have people out in teams of anywhere from 8 to 15 people. 7
days a week during the months of May and October.
You have to check every little corner and shadowed area where they might either be hiding or hard to even spot.
During bird migration seasons, this daytime speech pathologist is on the move and on bird watch.
Oh, this is a brown thrasher. These birds live in rainforests and wild areas up north in Canada. They don't experience buildings and glass very much. So this is like them coming into a very alien environment where they can't figure out what's going on, and they very easily get hurt.
Each year, around 5,000 birds are injured or killed, colliding into Chicago's glassy, reflective skyscrapers.
All the dead birds are collected so that they can be documented as to what kind of bird is coming through Chicago.
Prince and the Chicago bird monitors are aiming to lessen that number.
So any kind of external screening.
They're urging Chicago officials to pass an ordinance, more bird-friendly building designs, and pushing cities around the U.S. to turn lights out at night.
We are #1 in the amount of urban lighting we put out.
Less light and glass means fewer birds to collect.
It's estimated that there's 1 billion birds a year that are killed at windows, and with huge concentrations in cities like Chicago.
Something Prince says will benefit us all in the long run.
They're citizens of the world, and we're protecting birds that are critical to ecosystems throughout the globe. There are a lot of problems in the environment that you can't fix, and this is something that we can fix. There are things you can do to make buildings safe, and in the end, protect these birds that are so valuable to us.
In Chicago,
we're going to go across the street.
I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
All right, well, all month long, we've been taking a look back on 70 years of broadcast history that we've been making here at Channel 6. It's probably no surprise that there were a lot of men in the newsroom in the first couple of decades and very few women. But then the 1970s arrived and that all started to change. For instance, take Tracy Horth, who interned at Channel 6, and then that turned into a job for her right after graduating from Butler back in 1979. She was a reporter and then later joined the anchor desk at a time when not many women in town were anchoring the evening news.
Anchored actually with both Howard and Clyde. They did the tri-anchor experiment for a while, and so I had the opportunity to anchor with them.
Channel 6 News with Howard Caldwell, Clyde Lee, Tracy Horth.
Which is really unbelievable. To have the opportunity to sit at an anchor desk with both of those gentlemen was very incredible for me.
Anytime we've had a story about pregnancy and babies, Howard, over the past couple of months, notice how Tracy really zeros in on it.
Hey, I've noticed that.
Really paying attention.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, my husband and I are expecting our first child around Thanksgiving time.
That's
so I'm a little over 5 months along now.
Are we just going to have one, or are there going to be two?
Oh, wait, we got to get through one first.
Got married and had 4 children, and left. When I left, our youngest had just turned 1. And she's now 22, and I'm a grandma, which is pretty amazing. A lot of life changes for me while here.
And we want to wish a happy Mother's Day to Tracy and all the moms out there. Tracy left Channel 6 in 1998. She's now the Chief Executive Officer of the Indiana Coalition to End Sexual Assault. And as we've been saying all month long, we'll be taking a look back on our own history every day, remembering some of the biggest moments and stories from the past 70 years. It all leads up to May 30th when former anchors Clyde Lee and Dion Willis lead us in a 1-hour special at 7 p.m. That's called 70 Years Together, RTV6 working for you. It's going to be a great evening, and we sure hope you tune in to join us. Well, switching gears right now, taking a look over at our weather. Yeah. Not the best day for Mother's Day, but at least we've got something to look forward to.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, got to spend some time with Mom today and warmed her up a little bit because, yeah, we've got temperatures that are feeling more like March than May across central Indiana out there with numbers widespread in the 40s. A few of us getting into the 50s. 51 in Bedford, 50 degrees for you in Greensburg, and Muncie at 51. A far cry from where we were this time last year. We were in the middle of a 9-day stretch of 80-degree heat that went from May 9th all the way to the 17th and even got close to 90 a couple of times. And if you remember, that was a theme of May last year. It ended up being our hottest May on record. We're going to get back into the 80s this week, but we've got some work before we get there. We got to get these clouds and scattered showers out of the forecast first. Monticello, some light rain, and that extends around Logansport, Peru as well. A little more in the way of some steady rain for you in Fowler at this point, and that's where the bulk of the rain will stay through the overnight hours. Tomorrow morning, as kids are heading off to the bus stop, can't rule out a couple of isolated showers and those chilly temperatures into the middle 40s to start off our Monday. So here's a look at TrueCast. As we get to 8 o'clock on Monday morning, we can see a few of those showers left over, but they will start to push out of central Indiana here by noon. Still holding on to some clouds. I think it's going to be a little difficult to get rid of the clouds here throughout the afternoon. We'll do so, but as we get some sunshine, that actually will help to pop up a couple of additional showers across the area. So on Monday, we make some progress. We're not going to get out of the 60s. In fact, most of us will be stuck in the 50s, but better than the 40s from today. Mostly cloudy skies, a little bit of that breeze as numbers make their way into the upper 50s, right around 60 for you in Bloomington, 59 in Indy and Muncie, coming in at 57 degrees for your Monday. Sunshine really makes a return here on Tuesday, and as we go through the afternoon, we'll see those numbers getting into the middle 60s. So finally warming up a little bit here, and we'll continue that trend as we go through the next several days. Average highs in the lower 70s. As we get toward the end of the week, we're knocking on the door of 80 degrees. Your 7-day planning forecast now as we put it all together for you, and we'll find those temperatures making their way from 59 tomorrow to the middle 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. I would say Wednesday's our next best chance for some scattered showers. Then as we go into Thursday night, chance for a few thunderstorms moving through. Then just some small chances for rain as we go into next weekend. And there we go, 82 degrees by next Saturday.
Yeah, and you and I were just talking a few minutes ago about how hot it was last May. I can't say I'm missing those days, but something about 80 at the end of this week, it sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, and a lot of people on Facebook saying, give us the 80s. We're done with this stuff.
We're ready for it. All right, we'll check in with you in a bit. Coming up ahead, we all know beauty products can get pretty expensive, so what's worth the money and what's not? Stay tuned to get some tips on what to buy and why some designer items might just be as good as the drugstore brands.
Shell or visit steeldealers.com.
Welcome back. Here at RTV6, we are all about helping you save some money. And with all the beauty products out there, it can be hard to know what's worth spending the extra cash on and what's just as good as the drugstore brands. Tonight, Annie Taylor is helping us out with this one.
We all want to look beautiful, we all want to look fabulous, but we don't want to spend an arm and a leg. Jeray Banks, beauty expert, is here to show us the products that we don't have to go and splurge on.
Yes, exactly. I'm here to let you guys know all the confusion on social media. It's been over here messing with your guys' minds. You don't have to go to the department stores for that A+ celebrity look. The first thing that you don't want to splurge on is going to be your brushes.
Jeray says most makeup brushes, including the luxury brands, use synthetic hair, so save your money.
Number 2, we don't want to be splurging on foundation. A lot of these ingredients are the exact same.
If you've never tried setting spray, Jeray says start at the drugstore.
Wet n Wild actually makes some $5 setting sprays that are great from hydrating to oil control to even just the everyday elongated wear. These guys are going to make sure that your makeup lasts throughout the day, and it's also going to make sure that you have a beautiful glow all day as well.
Next on the no splurge list, cleanser.
A lot of those luxury products that you're actually buying, you're paying for more of the fragrance that's in it. You're paying for the signature ingredients from that company. So why go ahead and over splurge on a little bit of a Chanel fragrance in your cleanser when you can have squeaky clean skin for the way lower price?
And finally,
the least amount of money you need to spend on anything would be mascara. It's the exact same ingredients, once again, as your favorite expensive mascara.
Here's a secret. A lot of your favorite beauty brands are actually owned by the same company. Take L'Oreal. They own Lancome, Maybelline, Giorgio Armani, and Yves Saint Laurent. You're ultimately paying for packaging.
You're not always wanting to see all of the glitz and glamour of the packaging. I just want the stuff to work.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Well, as Kyle told us, it was cool, damp, and gray outside today, but that did not stop families from celebrating Mother's Day out at the Indianapolis Zoo. Take a look right there. A lot of people having fun. About 2,300 hardy souls made the trip out there. We caught up with Tracy Matthey and her family. They say they go there every year. We talked to them as they were taking a look at those California sea lions and pondering the joys of motherhood.
What's the best thing about being a mother?
Watching your kids grow up and just teaching them and loving them and putting them to bed at night and going to the zoo.
And Molly, tell me, what's the best thing about your mother?
That she lets us go wherever we want, and she lets us have dessert every night.
And for the record, Mom there says she does not let her kids go everywhere they want.
But hey, if the kids feel that way.
Hey, that's they're happy. Mom's
That's right. Everybody's happy. All right, well, you'll be happy with the 7-day forecast because by the time we get to next weekend, highs in the 80s.
All right, thanks, and thank you for watching. We'll see you back at 11.